To many, the United States is a symbol of strength, a global economic powerhouse with formidable military might, cutting-edge science, and advanced technology. Yet behind that shining facade lies a recurring, unrelenting adversary that no power can fully subdue: nature. Not bombs, not bioweapons, but water. Torrents that destroy cities, divide communities, and shake the very foundations of American political and economic life. Looking back on American history, floods like the Great Mississippi Flood of 1927, Hurricane Katrina, or the Johnstown disaster of 1889 have not only inflicted massive material damage, but exposed serious flaws in disaster management, stark inequalities in relief distribution, and the limits of human power in the face of nature. These are not just painful memories, but urgent lessons for the future. A future where climate change, uncontrolled urbanization, and political division are turning regions into ticking water bombs, ready to explode. 1. Mississippi, 1927, when the water rose above justice. In 1927, one of the deadliest floods in American history submerged the lower Mississippi Valley. Nearly 630,000 people were displaced, hundreds died, and over 27,000 square miles lay underwater. But the tragedy didn't stop at nature's wrath. It was amplified by human decisions. Authorities deliberately breached levees to save New Orleans, sacrificing poorer regions in the process. African Americans were forced into labor camps under conditions akin to slavery. The flood didn't just destroy farmland, it deepened the racial and social divides of America, leaving behind a wound that still hasn't healed. Johnstown, 1889, a flood of greed and abandoned responsibility. Unlike most natural disasters, the Johnstown flood was caused not by weather, but by negligence and greed. The South Fork Dam, owned by a private club of Pittsburgh elites, burst after years of ignored warnings. 20 million tons of water swept through the valley, erasing an entire town and killing over 2,200 people within minutes. No one was ever held accountable. Justice sank with the city. This flood became a haunting symbol of an America where the rich walk free and the ordinary pay the ultimate price. Katrina, 2005, the aftermath of a broken promise. When Hurricane Katrina struck in 2005, especially devastating New Orleans, the world was stunned by America's weakness. Levees failed, flood protection systems collapsed, and thousands were stranded without food or water, ignored for days. Nearly 2,000 died, and damages exceeded $160 billion. But the true tragedy was betrayal. Mostly poor, black residents were treated as burdens. Relief was slow, chaotic, and marred by bureaucracy and racial disparity. Katrina shattered the illusion of the land of opportunity and revealed an America struggling with deep-rooted systemic failures. 4. Harvey 2017, a city drowning in irresponsible urbanization. Houston, America's fourth-largest city, endured historic flooding when Hurricane Harvey dumped over 1,500 millimeters of rain in days. More than 100 lives were lost, and hundreds of thousands of homes destroyed. But the true culprit wasn't just the storm, it was Houston's unregulated expansion. Urban sprawl replaced wetlands with concrete, leaving nowhere for water to escape. No drainage plans, no natural buffers. Houston became a giant bowl. Harvey proved the cost of unsustainable growth and a blatant disregard for environmental science. 5. Ohio Valley, 1937. When the water flooded policy. In early 1937, relentless rain pushed the Ohio River past its breaking point, flooding 12 states. Nearly 1 million were left homeless, with hundreds dead. But the flood spurred something rare: change. The Roosevelt administration launched massive infrastructure investments in levees and flood control. It was a rare moment where disaster led to reform. But today, those lessons seem forgotten in an era of short-sighted politics and denial. 6. Midwest 1993, the flood of endurance. Unlike the sudden shock of Katrina or Johnstown, the Midwest flood of 1993 stretched across months, from spring to fall. Over 1,000 levees failed, with damages exceeding $20 billion. The horror wasn't the water, but the helplessness. With all our technology and warnings, we still couldn't stop it. This revealed our greatest weakness: complacency. The belief that our systems are foolproof. Nature, however, plays by no one's rule. 7 Big Thompson, 1976. A flash flood with no warning. A sudden storm triggered a flash flood in Colorado's Big Thompson Canyon, killing 143 people in mere hours. No one had time to flee. Flash floods don't give second chances. This tragedy emphasized the need for early warning systems and public awareness. Yet even today, millions live in flood-prone zones with no emergency plans, a ticking time bomb. 8. California, 1861 to 1862, when a state became a sea. Few recall that California was once submerged for 45 days. Torrential rains turned Sacramento and the entire Central Valley into an inland sea. The result? Economic collapse, government relocation, and mass displacement. This was a chilling reminder that even arid regions can drown. Today, scientists warn of a repeat arc storm that could cause $1 trillion in damages. Are we listening? 9. Nashville, 2010. A forgotten tragedy. In May 2010, heavy rain caused the Cumberland River to breach, flooding Nashville. Over 30 died, and damages ran into billions. Yet global media largely ignored it. Not dramatic enough. But for Nashville's residents, it was devastating. This raises a harsh truth. Are some lives less worthy of attention and protection simply because they're less famous? 10. Boston Molasses Flood, 1919, when disaster tasted sweet. A tank of industrial molasses burst in Boston, unleashing a 25-foot wave that killed 21 people. It sounds absurd, but it's a grim reminder that negligence in industrial oversight can turn even molasses into a killer. It also underscores an ongoing issue: lax regulations and corporate impunity. Each flood isn't just a rise in water, it's a stress test for infrastructure, leadership, and the moral fiber of society. Floods don't discriminate, but the way we respond reveals who gets saved and who gets left behind. They don't speak, yet they expose systemic flaws: poor governance, inequality, denial, and unsustainable development. Today, with climate change accelerating rainfall, melting glaciers, and amplifying weather extremes, neither the U.S. nor the world can afford to treat floods as unforeseeable accidents. They are consequences, and unless we change how we build, govern, and live, the next great deluge will wash away more than property. It will erode trust, stability, and our collective future. America's history is written in both blood and water. The question is, will we let it repeat, or will we act before it's too late?